Yo, it's X, and welcome to the show. Corey, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right.
Corey, man, I'm in the Northern Lights, man. Where you at? You in Columbus?
Yeah, I'm just in Columbus. I wish I was at the Northern Lights.
Check this out, man. Our guy, he's out of the galaxy. I'm not gonna lie. He's Elijah Wallace. Elijah, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here. It's an honor to be on your podcast.
Appreciate you without a doubt. Hey, I gotta say one thing. We got a new website, whatsoutmedia.com. Please check it out. And if you've seen a podcast of ours, if you've, even if you've just, seen 5 minutes of an expert, I mean, Corey asks amazing questions, right? And make sure you like, subscribe, and share our podcast, please, without a doubt. Well, on to the show. Here we go. Elijah, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. I'm in New York City right now. I just had dinner, so I'm having a good evening.
Word. So, Elijah, where did you grow up, man?
I grew up outside of Chicago. It's like a small town about an hour outside of the city.
Nice. So what was it like? Was it a affluent area? Was it not an affluent area? Well, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as sort of like in the middle, I guess, middle class.
Yeah.
Definitely not like you wouldn't consider it like an affluent place, but it wasn't like a ghetto or anything like that.
Got you. So what were you into as a kid, like in grade school? Like I'm talking like, from like kindergarten all the way up to like, 12th grade. What were you like as a, kid, as an adolescent?
Absolutely, yeah. So I was really into sports. I was super into sports. So I played a few different sports. So first I played baseball and I was really good at that, like on the all-star team from like T-ball and stuff. And then in middle school, I switched over to football and I was really good at that. I would score like a touchdown every time I got the ball. I was good. I was nice. And then in high school, I focused. I played basketball exclusively. I was also nice at basketball. I was like all first team, all conference, and stuff like that. Like I had the opportunity to play Division II basketball, but I decided to like, focus on like going to school, like focus on my education, basically to choose where I would go to school based on like for academic reasons, as opposed to continue to play basketball because I wanted to go to the league. But
Yeah.
I realized that, probably wasn't very likely to happen for me at a certain point. And that was the point I started taking school seriously. And I ended up getting into Northwestern University, and that's where I graduated from. I studied history there. And then, I graduated from college in 2018.
Nice, man. So within sports, you said baseball, football and basketball. What are some lessons that you got out of those sports?
Two things: discipline and confidence. I mean, you're only gonna, a lot of your success in sports really depends on how much time you spend practicing and preparing. And then there's that component. But then there's also the confidence, right? Because once you get out on that court, when you're on the field, wherever it may be, you gotta be confident in the work that you put in, and you gotta know that you're nice. And so that's how it was. So those two things I would say.
Nice, of course. So what type of influences did you have? Like, I guess let's talk about on the sports side, on artistic side, like who are some of your influences?
When I was growing up, Kobe Bryant was my biggest, like, like outside of my dad, like my family, Kobe Bryant was one of my biggest inspirations. I really looked up to him. I was really a big fan of Kobe. And then I guess like musically today, there are a lot of creators and that's kind of like in the, sports is like, that's something that was more in the past. I was really passionate about sports growing up.
Yeah.
But like today, I'm really focused on creating like content and creating music and creating art and that sort of direction. So now, a lot of my biggest inspirations and role models are in those fields. And people that I look to that really inspire me are people like Lil Yachty. He's one of my biggest inspirations, actually. Yeah, and then like Cole Bennett is one of my biggest inspirations. I grew up with Cole, so we're like friends. We grew up in the same town together, so it's really awesome to watch him and see how successful he's become. And like the fact that I know him is really, you know, that that just kind of makes it feel a little bit different to know someone who
Yeah.
has, been so successful at something. Those are two people that come to mind right away. Yeah, and there are others as well.
So, like, were you introduced to your passion for creating and art through high school, or that come later?
That came later, man. So I was really like, so as I said, I went to Northwestern, and I was really kind of on like this very like corporate path, and I went to, I was a banker actually for 1 year after I graduated from college, and at JP Morgan. And I basically, it was like my senior year at Northwestern. I kind of realized that I didn't like, kind of a corporate path was not going to be, didn't suit me very well. And I wanted to do something more creative and something that I have more control over. And also it was also important for me to do something where I, like, basically my success was more dependent upon me. So like, I didn't like the idea of being limited in terms of like how much money I could make, because like this is like, this salary is going to be this much money, and you only make, and then the next year you're going to make that much money because that's how much money people make that year. And like that sort of like, this is what you're supposed to do at this stage. And I for me, like, I was able to do that like growing up, like going through school and then going to college, and like I could get behind like the sort of structure of it at that point. Even at the time, like I didn't love it, but I could just kind of, you know, say to myself that I have to do this. I'll do this right now. But then for me, it was like when I got a job, it was like, okay, I can't do this for the rest of my life. That's what I was like, I just want to have my own independence, and I thought, but it felt like it would never end. It felt like it would never end if I didn't do something different. And so then I started a watch company actually. And so, I spent a lot of time like doing research. Oh, I wanted to start a company, so I decided I wanted to do it, and I settled on a watch company idea. And I did a lot of research, and I created a business plan. And then, over the course of like a number of years, I ended up doing a Kickstarter campaign. I found a manufacturer for the company, and then got some prototypes and stuff. And then I ended up getting a co-founder. So a friend of mine came on, and he became a co-founder of the company for me. Then I left my job about a year in, and we raised money for the company, and that was great. And then we did a lot of traveling for a while as well. So I've lived in like Bali, I've lived in Stockholm, Sweden, I've lived in Mexico, I've lived in Croatia. And that was like, when I was building the company, I had the freedom to travel. And then I recently moved to New York. I moved to New York about a year ago now. And so I've been here for the past year. I started recording music about a year ago when I was living in Stockholm, Sweden. And the inspiration for that was actually my co-founder, Michael. And it just kind of felt like it was on that same, it's kind of what I was talking about before, just kind of on a more creative path. And so I was thinking about, starting a company and being creative and independent that way. And something that he inspired me to do was also to record music. And then when I got into recording music, I just got really into like trying to promote it however I could, and also into just like kind of the internet in general. And so like I have a YouTube channel and I TikTok a bunch. And I just wanted to be, it just kind of it just kind of put a whole bunch of other different things onto my radar that I was not really looking at all before.
Interesting. So let's talk about your watch company. What type of what type of development, what type of, education did you have, to do this?
None really. It was I it was just for me it was right coming up with the plan and figuring out, okay, so my goal is to launch a watch company with the website and everything. Okay, let me create a list of what I need to do from where I'm at today. Hey, Crizo.
How you
From where
doing,
I'm at,
man?
good, good. From where I'm at today to get to the company being launched. And so, it was just a bunch of small things. First, it was creating a business plan, and then it was creating a logo, or then it was creating like a design, and then it was creating a logo. And I because I have a certain set of strengths, things that I'm capable of doing, but there are other things that I'm not as skilled at. And so I would, reach out to people who were, let's say, artists or uh, engineers who could design the watch. And then at a certain point, it was a factory and that sort of thing.
Nice, nice. You got a watch on you right now, or
Yeah, I'm in the house. So I'm not wearing it. I actually just took it off.
okay, okay.
But I have it right here. I have
Word,
I
word,
don't
word,
usually
word.
wear it around the house because I just don't. But
No, I feel that. I feel that. So yeah, let's talk about. Oh yeah, that's clean. That's clean.
thanks, man.
Hey,
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
100. So let's talk about, okay. Yeah, so you felt like you were in a box in the corporate world, like being a banker. Like, did you feel like you're like, you kind of led to it. It's like, am I gonna get out of this? It seems like it's gonna be a never ending like cycle, like, right?
Yeah, it's really. I don't want to be someone that speaks negatively of doing something like being a banker or being in like a corporate environment, having that type of career, because that's a great thing to do, and that's a great accomplishment. I think you really just got to you just got to consider who you are, and for me, it wasn't going to be something that worked for me. I wanted to, yeah, and I just, that's how it was. And yeah, you know what I mean?
No, I feel you. I feel you without
Yeah.
a doubt. So making music. So you started inspiration. Let's talk about some of your travels. Like, so you said you started making music, what, in Sweden? Am I correct?
Correct.
So yeah, let's talk about that. Like, let's just talk about your travels in general, and then like when you started like making music.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so yeah, I traveled to Bali because my co-founder and I, we raised money for the watch company, and we wanted to go to a place where we could live and live cheaply and like also be comfortable and have fun. And Bali was a great place. And then sort of COVID had happened, and then we were we came back to the U.S. But then we learned that Stockholm, Sweden, like it wasn't locked down, like they were kind of going on about life as per usual, and that appealed to both of us. And so we went out there. We ended up living there for six. I lived there for 6 months, and that was, as I said, my friend Michael. He started recording music first, and like the first time that we were in the studio, I was like, because I went there with him, and the first time we were there, I was like, I want to do this too. And so, because yeah, I don't know, it just yeah, and so I appreciate him for just having just being my inspiration in that regard. Um, and ever since I started recording music, I haven't looked back. Now I record music all the time, and I do a lot of other things as well that has kind of come from the music.
Feel that. Feel that.
do you have any favorite spot that you've traveled throughout your time?
Great question. I would say Stockholm, Sweden. It's really a beautiful place. Yeah, it's a beautiful city. There's a lot of wonderful people there as well.
And what led you to New York right now?
Um, being a creator, I felt like it would be for me, it would either be Los Angeles or New York would be the places that I would want to go. Um, I think kind of for obvious reasons, right? Like as a creator, that's where, I think that like most artists are concentrated in America, at least, in one of those two cities. And so I knew more people in New York than I did in LA. And it came down as simple as that, and I felt like New York was more accessible to someone who was kind of unestablished, who wasn't established, I guess. And I knew more people here. And so it's like, oh, I'll go to New York.
A lot of like the greats moved to New York to try to like make it big. Like Kanye, when I was watching his documentary, he left Chicago when he was like 26, 27, like with nothing, with like the clothes on his back and like a backpack, and he moved to New York with some of his friends and J. Cole too as well, right? I don't know if he graduated or if he dropped out, I don't remember, but like it was sometime during or after college that he moved to New York. So that's a pretty good move, I would say.
No, yeah, no, honestly, I thought about those people, man. I was like,
Right, yeah.
It just felt like that's what a lot of artists do. They move to New York. And I feel like today is different because so much is on the internet. Like you can build a following on SoundCloud or Spotify or TikTok or Instagram, what have you. You can do that from Ohio or, anywhere in the world, really. But I just felt like, so even though that is the case, I just felt like being in New York, it just felt right, I also thought it would be a good place for me to go. I felt like there are a lot of talented young people here. And yeah, it just felt right for a lot of reasons.
Also the connections aspect of it too. Like you said, there's a lot of artists that's in New York and Los Angeles. So like you can make it big like in like Miami or other places too as well. But it's the connections too, like there's other
Exactly.
people, collabing with somebody. Like your neighbor might be an artist, you know what I mean? So, it's definitely like the connections are all around you. So
Exactly.
And you were talking about building a fan base on internet, and you've been, especially on TikTok, I feel you've been really producing as much as you can and figuring out the algorithm. How is it like figuring out the algorithm, not just on TikTok, but all the social media platforms that you're on?
That's a really good question. It's funny you say that. I feel like I haven't figured anything out.
Because I feel like I see a pattern on your TikToks, especially like how you will have like one day where you will post like a certain theme or structure, I guess, on like a TikTok video, and then you'll post like a couple variations of that. And I assume it's try to get one of them viral, right?
Yeah. I guess I started using TikTok about a year ago, and I feel it's funny because I've grown a lot on the relative to where I have been in the past. I've grown a lot on the platform, but my biggest inspirations on the platform, they're bigger than me, and so.
Well, yeah, you got to start, right?
So
but you're still. I feel like it definitely is working. Like you, based on like going from more recent videos to your older videos, you're gaining every single time.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I really appreciate you saying that. And I really like TikTok. I love the community on the app. It's so fun, and it's so entertaining. And I I get caught in spending like a lot of time on TikTok, just on my FYP.
Tell me about it.
And I have I met so many people on TikTok, like people. I think maybe I met you guys on TikTok. I don't know. Exactly. Yeah. I met so many people on TikTok and that have reached out, and so it is a great platform, and I have a lot of fun using it. And I think it's really effective to communicate, whatever, if you have a message that you want to share, which is me, I want to build a platform, and I want to share my music with people, and I want to share, my watch company and other ideas that I have. And so it's been good. And hopefully I can continue to grow and build an audience that is interested and supportive.
Now, Elijah, where I found out about you, on our company's TikTok. That's What's Out Media, everybody. And my personal one as well. You showed up on my FYP on both sides. And it was what you were a young man looking for a job. You didn't have a job for a while, so you were hunting for a job, and you putting out applications. And then like one day, bro, you got a job. I think it was from a mentor or something like that. You want to speak on that?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's funny. I love that. Okay, so what I was talking about with like the job thing, yeah. So like I left my job at JP Morgan like a couple of years ago and was building the watch company and like creating the stuff. But honestly, bro, I just like I ran out of bread. Like I needed to make, and my creative pursuits, they weren't making, and they weren't making enough to like support me. And like, I'm a grown man. I have to support myself. No one's gonna like, I got like passions and things that I want to do, but no one's, if they're not making enough money to support me, I got to go out and figure out a way to make it work. Yeah. And so I recently started, I started looking for a job, and I was looking for a job for like 4 months. And it was frustrating for me because I felt like I was very qualified. As I said, I graduated from Northwestern, which is a very good school. I worked at JP Morgan, which is a very competitive firm. And then I had built a watch company for 2 years. And I like created a product and has like a very professional website. I did a lot, and I felt like all those things just like would communicate that this is a very capable and talented person. Yeah. And I was becoming frustrated because I hadn't gotten any job offers after like 4 months of looking, and I submitted like over 100 applications, and that's what a lot of those TikToks were about. And then I ended up getting a job offer from a mentor of mine, someone who had invested in my watch company. And I didn't even ask him for a job. I reached out to him like via email in the beginning of my job search. And I was like, hey, I want to let you know I'm looking for a job. And so if you can help, please, if you know anyone who you think could help me, then, please share my information. But it wasn't really for him to offer me a job, but he ended up doing that. And so after I had spent all this time and energy, like researching and applying and stressing, it just kind of fell into my lap. And to me, that really kind of opened my eyes. Honestly, like for real, after that experience and other things as well, I've been kind of trying to kind of take things as they come more often. Because, like you can only do so many, like only so much is in your control. And I've just been trying to kind of like, yeah, right, I have my goals, and this is what I would like to happen, and just trying to like do whatever I feel like is the right thing to be doing, and just kind of let go from there, because that experience really showed me like, wow, like you really don't have that much in your control. Like, but I don't want to say that, to like not work, to get what you're trying to do. Yeah. But, do the work, but maybe just kind of let go of like the expectations a little bit, and kind of like, oh, it got to be this way. It needs to be this way at this time. Just kind of do the work and just kind of, you get what I'm saying? You get what I mean? It's kind of like a delicate balance to strike.
I always look at it like boxing. So like you get hit and you got to roll with the punches, right? But then you could get a lucky shot, you know what I'm saying? But you don't
gotta
know
wait for that opportunity.
Yeah, you don't know when it's gonna hit. So
exactly. There's no such thing as perfect timing. Exactly. It's always when you least expect it. You know what I mean? And it's you know what I mean? And it's you're thinking it's gonna go this way and it doesn't turn out, but then
exactly
later on it's like, oh, this actually turned out better than what I expected.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it was like, so I got the job, and then like the same week or the next week, I learned that I was going to be on Summer Smash Music Festival, which is like a huge honor for me. And Thank you, bro. I appreciate
So it's I was just gonna ask. I was like, so as the legend says, the same day or the same week, you got.
yeah. Exactly. And so it was just like it felt like a lot of good things were happening after a difficult time. But what I really try to do is like I really try my best not to get too like down about a situation if I'm having gone through a challenging time. And I also like even more so try my best not to get too excited about the situation if I feel like things are going well, because I don't know. And this is just me. I just try to stay even tempered throughout it all as much as I can, because as I said, so much is out of my control and my experience. And so like I just don't want to be like up and down based on so much of like this thing went well, this thing didn't go well. Now I'm really happy. Now I'm really sad. You know, for me, it's easier if I just focus on the work and like take what comes.
I feel that. So I think I also noticed on your TikTok, are you a sober individual?
I am sober. Yeah, I've been sober for 2.5 years.
Nice. So what experience is it as like a younger person being sober, and like can you walk through like the steps of like what made you make that decision and that type of
Yeah,
aspect?
for sure, bro. Yeah. When I was when I was growing up, I guess like towards the end of high school and like in college, I would drink a lot. Um, yeah, I would drink a lot and I would do other things too. You know, and and I mean, in my story, there was no point where I was like really like down bad, like, oh, like, this man really fucked up.
Yeah, I wasn't fishing for it. I'm not Oprah. I'm not like, so what happened?
So it wasn't like, there was this big epiphany moment for me, but I always kind of like, I just felt a part of me just always felt like the best version of myself wouldn't would be sober. Um, and this is not a knock against people. I mean, very few people are sober, so I'm not trying to knock people who are not sober. But just for me, kind of like with the whole with the job thing, like I'm not. It's like like hella people work jobs. It's nothing. I work a job, so it's not like I'm like coming at anybody. It's just I just kind of like coming to a place and knowing what is best for me. And so in the back of my mind, even though like I would drink a lot and go out with my friends and I had a lot of fun, but in the back of my mind, I just kind of felt like the like I would hope that I would be sober one day. And that day came when I left my job at JP Morgan, and I was living in San Francisco at the time, and I moved to Chicago with my co-founder and my best friend Michael, who I've talked about, and I was working. I was really. It was a really. We were raising money for the company from investors, and it was a kind of a situation, kind of like my job search situation, actually, because my back was against the wall. Because like I left my job, I wasn't making money, and I had this business idea, and I wanted to raise money to go execute the idea. And so I had like reached out. Because I'm from like my time at Northwestern. I kind of developed a network of people who I thought might invest in the company, and I was reaching out to all these people on a daily basis and trying to make it happen. And I was really excited about the company, and I felt free for the first time really, because I didn't have a job and I wasn't in school. And I just kind of was so focused, and I was exercising a whole bunch, and I've always exercised and I still do. And I looked up and I like first it was like a week had gone by and I didn't drink, and then it was like, and I looked up and like a month had gone by and I hadn't drank alcohol at all, and I was like, I kind of want to keep doing this, I like this. And so it wasn't like a decision that I made. It was just like it kind of gradually happened, and I was funny because like I said, I always felt like I would like to be sober. And so it kind of happened to me, and kind of what we were talking about before, how just kind of things can be serendipitous sometimes.
Yeah. With the same advice that you're kind of saying right now throughout the interview, is that the advice that you would give your younger self?
Wow, that's a really good question. Yeah, what advice I would give my younger self? Um, I guess I don't really know what advice I would give my younger self because I don't know. I feel like my story isn't finished yet. You know, like I feel like yeah, I feel like my story. I don't feel like I'm in a position to give my younger self
You're
any advice
you're still
yet.
you're still your younger self. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, and like kind of like the TikTok thing where it's like, I have my account has grown, but I feel like I'm not at a place where like, because my favorite, I just feel like I have a lot more to go. And this could be me because I'm always, well, like I feel like I'm always kind of feeling like I always can be doing better, always like looking towards the future, try to, go to the next level as
Definitely
opposed
think that's
not
a good mentality.
yeah, yeah. And so sometimes I'm don't like sometimes I don't appreciate where I'm at today, but it's like where that's less important than where I want to be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I want to see more of the story first before I can be able to look back and say, okay, this was because right now I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of the story.
I feel you without a doubt. So the reason why I asked is because you were like a sports heavy person. I don't know. Did you always think that you were like, okay, well, I'm gonna go like I'm not gonna worry about like what most people do when they're good at sports. Like I want to go based on where I can go play again, right? Or where I could play when I'm in college. Did you know that you were gonna go for a corporate route? Did you know that you were gonna go for like an artistic route? Or is this all just it's just flowing?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, for me, I always wanted to try to put myself in a situation where I could go as high, basically where like there was no like limit on how much I could grow and how high I could go. And so when I was like in middle school and like really kind of middle school when I was really focusing on basketball and like because it was by the time my sophomore year hit of high school where I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go to the league. Like it's just so few people that look like me. That's like 5'10" in the NBA. Like, and I'm not like out here dunking like crazy. Like I just could felt like in my mind I can project it out. And I was like, bro, you're not going to the league. Even though I was good. But it was
man, I
but
feel that, man.
what's that? Cause
I was about to say, man, I feel that, man. You preaching to the choir, man. Literally my story, bro. Like high school, bro. Like shit, crazy, bro. Like,
yeah, bro. Like, and I was working hard. Like, I was really in the gym, bro. Like, I was really, really getting after it. Like, no one was going to the gym as much as I was. Like, I'm telling you, I was good. But you just know, like, there's you to be go to the NBA, you got to be like
The
one of the
best.
best in the world, bro.
There
And
are
also,
it's different classes without a
yeah,
doubt.
yeah. And
it's sad,
also, bro,
bro.
like, there's people in the NBA, bro. Like, they're hella tall, bro. They're like if I was like, if you're like 6'5", you're like average or something, bro. And not saying you can't go to the league if you're 5'10" like me, but like then you got to be like literally like, how many people in the league are 5'10"? It's like 10 of them. You
Less
have to
than, yeah, less than.
exact. You would literally have to be top 10 basketball players in the
You gotta
entire
be really
world.
good.
You would have to
Like
be so good.
like Nate Robinson, Isaiah Thomas type of level good. And they're not
Yeah,
even in the league right now. So that should
yeah,
tell you
bro.
something.
You would
You
have to
feel me?
be mad. You just have to be how good you would need to be is like
You have to
it's
average like 70 high school
yeah,
games.
bro.
Like,
You just gotta be so good. Like even Steph Curry is like several inches taller than me. And
yeah.
he's like short. And so that was kind of an aside. But yeah, so that was like all that kind of just that math like was done in my head. And I was like, okay, you're not gonna go to the NBA. And then I was like, okay, well then what do I think? So for me, it was like, okay, well then I feel like going to play Division II basketball just to play, I felt like that was gonna limit me for my professional career as opposed to if I went to school based on if I was focusing on my professional career. So yeah, I started taking my schoolwork really seriously in high school at that point, and I got into Northwestern, and it was all with the focus of getting like a job in finance. And I worked really hard, and I ended up accomplishing that. But then once I got there, what happened for me is that actually I remember I was interviewing for jobs it was like for an internship, and I saw the cubicles, and I never saw I never saw cubicles actually, because because my dad is an entrepreneur, so I just didn't grow up in a family where people were like on that time, like on like office time. And so I went and the interview, I saw the cubicles, and I was like, damn, bro, this is like the movies. Like
It's surreal.
The Matrix out here.
It was like the movie. It was like the movie. But like the people that like the lit people, they're never like in the movies, it's not like the cubicle. Like they're never do you know what I mean? Like the people that are lit in the movies, they're not in the cubicles. They're like
they're like walking around. They're like, "Hey man, what you know what I mean?" Like yeah. They're like yeah. They're like
the lit people are like they're like.
Did you see the game last night?
Yeah, those aren't the lit people. Like that's not what is. Yeah, you know I think you know what I mean. And so I was just like, damn, I don't want to do this. Like, bro, this is not what I thought it was. And that was really the first moment that I realized I didn't want, and I had been working really hard to get to that point for years, since my sophomore year in high school. But that was like my junior year, the end of my junior year. That's when I got the internship at the bank. And then I was like, okay, well, I want to try to figure out something that could allow me to live a lifestyle that's I'm more comfortable with. And also you got to make money, right? Kind of like what we've been talking about a couple of times. And so I started to make a business. And yeah, that's how I got there.
Word. So we didn't actually touch on this. So your father was an entrepreneur. Maybe that's the reason why you think it's so like, I think you might think being an entrepreneur might just be like, oh yeah, I was an entrepreneur. But like, so your dad was an entrepreneur. What did your dad do?
Yeah. My dad, he's a real estate investor. My dad's a very hardworking, talented man, and he's owned his own business basically like most of my life, and he's invested in properties like in the Chicago area. And so yeah, like I really think you're right. I think it's a large part of it. Like my dad, like he wasn't like on a 9-to-5 type of situation. Like he would be at home. He would take us to school, and like he would be able to pick us up, and he would come to our games, and he would like, he just had a lot of flexibility because he was a business owner, and he was able to control his own schedule basically. And so to me, it was kind of just the concept of, I think it just wasn't natural to me. And because if my dad grew up like kind of in a corporate situation, and my mom as well, I probably wouldn't have even thought anything about it. But
my bad.
That was it.
I was about to say, like, that's basically like the same story I have. I went to JU with Xavier, studied business as well. I was about to be a management consultant, right?
Fire. Yeah.
I was, like Big 3, Big 4, did like an internship and everything like that. And like I was going around like the same route that you did. Like I was kind of like thinking like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this for a couple years, and then I'm gonna open my own venture. Maybe work in tech and like some kind of startup, and get the ball rolling over there and everything like that. And after I graduated, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get my MBA. I'm gonna go get an internship. Stuff like that. But something within me, it was like, you know what? Let me take a break, let me take like a year off, right? To like think it through and everything like that. And then decide if I do want to take on like that extra loan and to go to grad school and everything like that. And I did a lot of thinking when I was at home, and I did a lot of thinking, and like I decided, I was like, like the corporate world, like that's not really me. And my father is also an entrepreneur, right? He's an electrician, and he has a lot of flexibility. He goes to Miami sometimes, just whatever. He has a lot of flexibility in his life. Now, I don't want to be necessarily a electrician because that's a lot of like labor work and that's pretty tough. But I see that he makes his own money too as well, and he sets his own prices on what he determines whatever this work is worth. Like he doesn't work by hour, so he's not trading his time for money. It's more like the product or the outcome
The
for
finished
money.
project. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So it's a lot different, and like you, he's always been like that since I could uh remember. So I kind of grew up around that kind of mentality. And I was like, damn, like what could I do? And I was playing around with like digital marketing, social media and everything like that, kind of have, thinking of like this, freelance lifestyle, working from my laptop and everything like that. And I was thinking like, it's okay, but it's not really what I like. I was like, well, personal training, like I love working out, and sometimes I give advice to some of my friends. Sometimes they ask me, and then one of the trainers like, why won't you just become a personal trainer? I was like, shit, and then he told me like, you get to set your own hours, it's between you and the client. The only thing you have to do is just pay the gym, every month or whatever, a percentage. And I was like, oh, that sounds perfect. So that's kind of like the route that I'm headed towards as well. So I can really relate to your mindset when you're, approaching like your like approach to life. So kudos to you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
that's
mean?
really similar, bro. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
man,
think
for sure.
as myself and like I grew up when I was like in middle school, I actually went to a entrepreneur incubator and like I started an entrepreneur club with all my friends, and really it was just like it was kind of like we were just brainstorming every week. What's a new idea? What ideas you got? Like ideas of innovation, ideas for like community change and all that and stuff. All this like different type of stuff, and we ended up like doing this fundraiser for my buddy, and now he has this video game company that's like legit now, like, and that's off of the initial funding, right, for that. And this is in middle school. So I've always been like, all right, I want to build. And coming out of college, I didn't necessarily, I could have easily gone into the corporate media route. Like I had an opportunity with Vice and like some certain like, local broadcasts. And I didn't want to do that. And that was right before the pandemic really hit, or it was, I graduated in 2020. So I was like, I want to do this thing. So I still like volunteer my time, and not volunteer. Like I was like a freelancer for different like YouTube channels and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, let me find something that's like solid. So I ended up coaching, and now coaching gives me the availability to do things like this and to build this. So I definitely understand that aspect without a doubt in your story, man. It's you got an amazing story, bro.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. I love that. And I mean, I think what's interesting about what we're all saying is that, sometimes you might have to do something that you don't want to necessarily do, like to be able to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Um,
Thanks.
like so I got the internship at JP Morgan the summer before my senior year at Northwestern. And so I worked the internship that summer. And then I worked at JP Morgan for a year before I felt comfortable with leaving the job to pursue my business full time. And then, fast forward a couple years later, I have zero regrets at all about leaving JP Morgan, because I built a company and like I got involved in so many other like different creative, avenues, music, in it like YouTube, TikTok, you name it. But I it's not none of those things are at a place where like they can support me full time right now. And so like, all right, hey, I gotta go back and I gotta go get a job. And it's like that may not be exactly what I want to do right now, but you got to do what you got to do. And so it's like, and so, I mean, yeah, it's kind of what I was just saying. So sometimes you got to do things that, you don't necessarily want to do to be able to have the opportunity to do what you want to. And that's why I kind of say that I feel like my story is not finished yet, because I feel like it doesn't end here. I feel like there's going to be, I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a point in the future where things look a little bit more closely to the way that I envision them.
Yeah, more clear. I totally understand what you're saying in that aspect. So in high school, you're friends with Cole Bennett. Like, he's an amazing director of music videos. Were you guys just always been friends? How did that go?
Yeah. So I moved to Plano in fifth grade, and so I say I grew up in Plano because like that was really where I like most of my memories and basically all my friends are from that time period from growing up. But I moved there in the fifth grade, and he was there before me, so he and his family was there like kind of years before me, and so he was my first friend when I moved there in the fifth grade. Like literally, he came up to me and he was just like, what's up, man? Like he befriended me. Like he really did, like no cap, bro. Like I'm thinking about it. He befriended me like when I was a new kid in the school and I didn't have any friends.
That's dope.
And yeah. And he was a great kid and we were family friends. And we've been very close friends ever since.
Word. I got so many similarities in your story, man. So being a Midwesterner, do you feel like Midwesterners just have like we can kind of get thrown in any situation and just we're kind of like even kill and we try to like understand other people's point of view? Does that make sense?
I can see that, bro. I can see that. I feel like I think Midwesterners are generally like kind of nice. They're like generally nicer. They kind of tend to be nice. Not to say that people from other places are not nice. Um, but like for example, I'm in New York now, and like I feel like New Yorkers are a little bit more harsh, like culturally. They can be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit quick tempered, a
Yeah.
little bit more defensive. Where people from the Midwest, they're a little bit kinder, a little bit softer. And so that sort of thing. Yeah, so I can definitely agree with that.
Word. So did that help you at all, or maybe not help you, but yeah, did that help you in any situations like when you were traveling abroad and like
Yeah, that's a good
Bali?
question. Honestly, bro, like it's a really good question you asked me that because I've traveled a lot. Like I've been around a lot of different places. I don't really like, and I feel like a little bit sort of like I don't want to say a chameleon because like I do have like a sense of myself. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm like flip flop or anything like that. But I feel like I have the ability to adapt in different like environments and situations. And like yeah, I guess I'm not like super fixed on being like one type of way. And maybe they could be because of the Midwest, because it is sort of like it gets hot and it gets cold and like it's not it's not like in New York where like as I said, they kind of like it'll be a little bit harsh, but like Midwest, they kind of more easygoing and type of thing, and like I don't know. I guess I kind of take it how it comes. I guess maybe it's from the Midwest. I don't know though.
No, without a doubt. And I would never call you a chameleon. I would call you, you definitely are an individual. Like you stand on on your beliefs and you got a good sense of like who you are and you navigate through that with just who you are. And it's pretty cool to see.
Thank
I
you, bro.
also think I I also think it's a pretty good attribute to have to adapt your I wouldn't say personality because I'm kind of like the same way. I kind of adjust how I speak to different people. Like I wouldn't speak to my professor or my boss the same way I would speak to my friend or like there's different styles of conversation in different social settings. You know what I mean? So like I can fit pretty well in different scenarios judging on who I am and while still being me. Like I'm not
Yeah. You're not like
You know what I mean?
you're not
Yeah.
switching up on that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Putting on
So
different masks.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just like,
all
it's like a
collect the
different
mask.
it's a different version of yourself a little bit, but it's still yourself.
exactly.
So what I know what do you have planned in the future? What ideas do you have? What do you want to grow on? What things are you moving on in the future?
I like that question. I want to do what I'm doing right now. Like what I think about, I think about this a lot. Like, because as I said, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of my story, and it's not finished, and so like I'm always thinking about what can I do to get to where I want to go, and now I feel like my thinking is just like keep doing what you're doing. So like, because like sometimes you might feel like, oh, you need to change up. You need to do something different. But now I feel like I need to continue to do what I'm doing generally, but like always try to improve and be better and evolve. But like I feel like there's not anything like completely like new or different that I need to introduce to my lifestyle or anything like that right now. And so, but I just want to take it to the next level. So like I want to grow my TikTok channel. I want to grow my YouTube channel. I want to grow my fan base musically. I want to improve the quality of the music. That I want to make better music. I want to become a better musician. I want more people to become aware of Wallace White, my watch company, and more people that have those watches. So hopefully in the future, hopefully like if we were to have a conversation a year from now, I could say that, like these things have grown to get to a higher level. And that's really what I'm focused on right now.
Without exposing, what's out, it's like full master grand plan, but that's kind of an ideal. We want to have the people that we've interviewed already. We want to get checkpoints within their life and be like, okay, well, how are you developing? How are you getting better? What are you changing? Have you made a pivot? Like that's the kind of idea that we kind of want to follow. And we're, we're grateful to have you, man. Like seriously, we're not ending the podcast. I'm just saying, like, we're really grateful to have you on, man.
I really appreciate that. It's an honor to be on. I really didn't know what I was going to get into. Like, you seem like a nice. You reached out and you were kind, and I thought I was flattered that you would want to speak with me, and so I was happy to take the time and be a part of your podcast. I didn't know it was going to be three guys. Like I didn't know. But it's great. I like that. It's fun to have more people and like different perspectives. And then there's like another, like since I recently got a job, and I used to be like, imagine like I used to be working on all my stuff, and that was the only thing I was doing. I was only doing my business. I was only doing music and YouTube and TikTok. And so I recently got a job, and it's just like, now I just got to and I just kind of just always remind myself, even though I have a job, and it's literally like, it's a real job, like full time. I'm working from home now. And so that adds flexibility, but like, it's a real job. Like it's a real job. Like I'm in here like 9 to 5, 9 to 6, like really having to do work. And I haven't really had to do that in years, but I still got to make the time to do like the TikToks and the music and the YouTube, because I don't know. I just feel like try to follow my instincts, and my instincts just tell me to keep investing in that, even if it can be challenging sometimes. I just feel like I just got to keep doing that.
By the way, I really like your hat, bro.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate
I really like that. I was looking at the hat the whole time. I was like,
I love that. My girlfriend made this hat actually.
She made?
She really cool. She got like the logo together, and she like ordered it, put it on this.
What does it say?
It says chef love. Yeah.
Love.
Yeah. This is my girlfriend got this.
Hey, you are so funny on your TikTok, man. Somebody asked, man, how you get a baddie, man? And you go, oh, this is so easy. This is how you get a baddie. Hey, like that. Yeah, that had me crying, man. I was like geeking.
Thank you, bro. I love that. It's funny, bro. I love that. I like that people enjoyed that video. I didn't give them any advice.
The way that we connected on TikTok, and I'm glad I get to share it. You just randomly you were randomly filming some guys that were doing parkour, And I commented 2012. I was like, yeah, this is some 2012 vibes right here, man. And you were like, yeah, for real. And I was like, yo, this man replied, like, I gotta see if he can come on the podcast. Like,
oh, I love that, bro. I love that.
yeah.
That's fire. Yeah, bro. I'm glad that you commented on that video, bro.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Things happen for a reason, without a doubt.
Yes, sir. Where are you guys based? Are you in Ohio, Corey?
Yeah, I'm in Ohio. Me and X are from Ohio. We're from the Cleveland area. X is in Dallas right now. And Chris, remind me where you're at.
Florida. Key West, Florida.
Key West.
Key West, Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
And we got some other guys, and
All
like,
over the place.
we really do got a lot of people all over the place. But like the idea, we wanted to, like, me and my buddy Crizzo and I are actually guests. Me and him both had a radio host like show. We hosted on our college campus, and I would always tell him, like, I'm like, yo, man, come slide. I'm trying to build a platform. Come on through. Like, come on, man. And he's like, all right, yeah. Like, and I knew that for a reason, for a little bit. He was like, yeah, whatever, X. But then when the pandemic hit, he's like, yo, let's get to it. And we really we started plugging in.
And so how many, do you all release an episode every week, or how do you all work?
Honestly, it really depends. And like, we giving out our secrets right now. It really depends on if we could get the people that we're trying to, like, we kind of target the people that we want to get on. Like, so we like shoot for it. And then obviously we'll have just some podcasts where we just kind of talk about, like, we kind of do it like, would you say, like, trimester wise? Not even trimester, but like, and not even annually. How would you describe it, Chris? Because we'll do it like we'll do it like by seasons. We'll have a spring cast, and we'll like talk about all things culture, politics of the spring. Summer, everything that's going on in the summer, we talk about it then in the fall. But then we have our regular programming where we just interview entrepreneurs, artists, all of the above. So
I love that, bro. I love that. That's fine.
Appreciate it. Bro.
Oh, then another thing, I want to get this on the record because you guys want to do it in the future. I think manifesting could be real, so I try to do it. I want to be in that too. I want to be in movies. You asked for the future. I want to be an actor.
Hey,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any acting in particular? Because I can see you in movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. I've done I've done stand-up comedy here in New York, and I've really enjoyed that. I think I could do like sort of comedy, like comedies. I've actually written a movie script before. Actually, so I wanted to be. This is fun. I tried to become an actor, but it failed because I didn't include this in my story. I was living in Bali, Indonesia. When I said that I left Bali, I came to America before going to Sweden. I went to Los Angeles, and I was there because I wanted to try to become an actor. But COVID happened, and it didn't. Like, you can't do anything. I mean, you couldn't have done anything during COVID. You can't try to go to auditions. You can't even get an apartment, really. You couldn't have even gotten a new apartment. So I was staying in a hotel for a month. And then that's when I went to Stockholm, Sweden. And that's when I got into the music. And then from there, I ended up moving to New York. And I just decided to kind of focus on the internet. So TikTok and YouTube and music. And hopefully one day that can give me the opportunity to be a part of films and television. But I was trying to be an actor.
Dude, that's amazing. So you've gone to LA, you've gone to Stockholm, Bali, freaking New York. You got a creative, I got a really creative area, and you can grab a lot of different inspirations from the different areas. I think Paris is next at some point, man. You got to go to Paris.
I'm going to Paris next month, bro.
hey, word. I'm just saying, that just kind of fit the bill. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie.
I'm going to Paris. I'm gonna be there for about a month. I'm gonna be there for most of June for my job, actually.
Word. That's pretty neat.
Out there. Pardon?
Oh, I just said that's pretty neat. That was it.
Oh, thanks, bro. I thought you asked what I was doing. So my job sent me out there for a week, but I'm gonna have the opportunity to stay for longer, and so I'm excited about that, bro. You'll see some TikToks. I'll follow What's Up Media on TikTok right now. Not right now. I'll do it like, what's it called? What's your username now? I'll try to search it now.
Yeah, it's What's Out Media.
Literally the name.
Repeat that next for the audience.
What's Out Media? I put it down there. So wait, what is your new job, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't mind asking. So when I was in college, I participated in this program. I just follow What's Out Media. And so I participated in this program that gives college or sets up college students with internships at startup companies that are abroad. And so I participated in the program, and I interned at a company in Dublin, Ireland. And I lived there for 3 months and worked there. And it was a great experience. And that person, I stayed in touch with the founder of that company. He ended up investing in my company, and then he ended up giving me a job at the same company. And so that's kind of funny that it's just kind of was really circular that way. But yeah, exactly. And so that's something I work for. And so that's why I'm going to be going out to Europe, because that's what they do, you know?
I feel that. My last question, and then Chris, Corey, y'all got whatever. But my last question is, what advice would you give to a wannabe creator, someone that hasn't even put out a TikTok, someone that hasn't even made that has the equipment, right? That has the equipment to make music or something like that. I guess you can't see it, right? But that has the equipment to make music, but they don't go for it. Like, what advice would you give to them?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say just do it. Just like, so what got me, bro, honestly, so I remember I had already released music and like did my watch company and stuff, and I felt like TikTok could be, I thought it could be a good like platform to like build an audience on and like communicate my message. And I was just like on TikTok because I hadn't really posted any videos. I just made the app, and I was just like scrolling on the FYP, and I was like, dang man, like what do I do? Like I don't know what to post.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And you know, bro, and this is why I mentioned him in this interview, bro. Like Lil Yachty, I saw him on there, and he was like posting, and he was being himself, and I was like, man, like he's so cool, man. Like I want to try to do it, man. Like Lil Yachty just made like this like video, like doing this or whatever. Like let me go try. And so I would just say, just do it, But yeah, that's my story.
Do it.
Yeah, I feel that, man.
Do. Real quick, I want to ask is because you said that your girlfriend made your hat. Does she sell her items, or is it just like something that she does as a hobby?
Yeah, this is for a hobby. She's in like a shuffleboard league, and that's why it's called Shuffle.
Okay.
So,
Oh, one sec, we can't hear you right now.
oh, you can't hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not on her team, but she made this hat for her team, and she made one for me. So I maybe she'll sell you one though if you're interested.
Well, I'll take it. And also, so you said you've been doing stand up. Do you have any of that on your socials, or because I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, bro. I have it's on my YouTube channel.
Word.
Yeah, bro. It's on my YouTube channel. I did it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, bro. Check it out. I please do. I got good reviews on it. People told me that was good, and they told me to continue doing it. Here's the thing, bro. Like, people told me to keep doing it, and like, oh man, you were so good. Are you gonna do it again? Da da da. I do so much stuff, bro, and it's just like, if I try to do so many different, I already do like hella things, and if I just like, if I do too many things, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to be successful.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, am I gonna really try to be like a stand-up comedian, like try to like climb the ranks of that, as well as trying to like build the platform on TikTok and like YouTube and music? Like, bro, there's hella stuff.
It's a lot,
like,
yeah.
I gotta pick. I gotta focus.
And was that stand up something that was easy for you? Was it something that you just hopped on and you instantly got a good reaction out of, or is it something you had to work towards?
Yeah, I remember when I was in high school, I was in the National Honor Society, and I was a vice president. I gave like a talk in front of like a group, like it was like some sort of event that we were having with like parents and students. And like a couple people after was like, you're so good at like speaking. You should like do some of that. And I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't know like there are no jobs where you just get paid to like talk and stuff. So like I don't really know how it's gonna translate into a career. Um, but I feel like what I do now is like it seems like it's like related to that, like being a personality, talking. And so like I feel like stand up and music and like creating TikToks and that sort of stuff, it is I feel like it is similar to that, and I feel like it plays to a strength of mine.
So I don't really have a question, but I would love to like keep up with you. Like, do you have a what is your Instagram so I can like follow you and like
My Instagram is, I'll put it in here right now in the chat. It's at I am Elijah Wallace. So it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna follow you, man. And also too, I would love to hear a joke that's in your bag. Like
Oh,
everybody
that.
has a joke in the bag. You
I
know what I'm
got you,
saying?
bro.
So
I
I
got
I
you.
gotta hear something.
Okay, bro. Okay. Let me think. I'm gonna try to think about something for my set. Okay. So, and it might not be that because it's like a story that was like set part of like several jokes were part of it. But
Yeah.
basically, one of the jokes was okay. So, okay. So, have you ever heard of the expression "honesty is the best policy"? Would you all agree that honesty is the best policy?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
Okay,
so.
yeah. So my boss, he let me. So I got this new job, and my boss, he like on the first week of the job, we went out to lunch, and he was a great guy. I told him I was new to the city, and I told him I was looking for a bike, and he's like, "Oh, I have an extra bike. You can borrow it if you want." I was like, "Wow, that's so nice of you." And so, I went, and I went to his house, and he let me pick up the bike, and I took the bike. I rode it into the office the next day that weekend, and parked the bike in the garage, and the bike got stolen by a homeless person. And then, he would ask me, but I didn't have it in me to tell him that I got his bike stolen. And so I would see him at the office and like, "Hey, Eli, how's the bike, man?" Like, I was like, "Oh man, it's great. I rode it across Golden Gate Bridge this weekend, and I rode it to the office today." And I felt bad about lying to him, but I just didn't have it in me to tell him that it was stolen. And so then a year this goes on for a year, and I finally decide I want to resign from the job. And he tells me, and I go and I tell him like, "Hey, I'm gonna be resigning." And he took that really well. And then he goes, "Well, hey, what about my bike? You still have that?" And I was like, "Okay, well, I got the bike stolen." And I was like, "Oh, the bike got stolen." It's like, "Wait, what?" It's like, "When did it get stolen?" And I was like, "Well, to be honest, the bike got stolen the day after you gave it to me." And he became very upset. He's like, "You know what? You don't need to put in 2 weeks resignation. You can leave the office right now. You're fired right now." And so in this case, honesty was not the best policy.
Facts.
That was third.
Oh man.
Oh man, bro.
That's like that story is true to an extent. Like a lot of it's based off true events, but there are elements of like fiction within it.
No, I got you.
I like it. I like it. I like it. It's pretty good.
Hey, maybe that'll be later on, man. It's certainly a renaissance, man. So maybe when you get some free time, you'll be able to, actually hone in on it.
Yeah.
Yo, what you got a quote in mind? You got any shout outs? You got anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I would say please follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. My name is Elijah Wallace. You can find me under that username across those places. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Elijah Wallace there as well. Visit wallacewhiteco.com to check out my watches. Follow me on Spotify, SoundCloud, Elijah Wallace is everywhere. Just on the platform. If a platform exists, search Elijah Wallace. Just follow that channel. And it's gonna be love, and everyone who's already keeping up with me, and also to What's Out Media Group. I appreciate the love so much, and that means everything to me.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you
thank
for
you, Elijah.
Stand right back to you.
Bro, thank you all so much for your time, and I sincerely apologize about missing our meeting last night. What happened was, bro, I knew about the meeting, our appointment, but then I was like, damn, bro, I can't remember. I was going through my Instagram DMs. I was like, damn, like I can't remember what the name was, like to tell them that I need to
Popular. He's got too much in his feed.
I felt bad. I was like, fuck. I can't. And also my girl, we had a date, like this big date night planned. Like we went to dinner and went to go see a play in the city. And so like, and I had to get ready and I couldn't be late to go see my girl. And so I was just like, that's what it was all about.
No worries.
Hey, you got priorities, my friend. That's all good. Thank you for at least coming back. A lot of people, if they don't show up the first time, a lot of people, they don't show up after that. I'm not gonna lie. So Elijah, we appreciate you, bro. Crizo, Corey, y'all got anything else? Y'all got anything you want to say?
Nah, nothing. Appreciate it, man.
Bro, you guys are all love, man. You guys inspired me on this conversation. Thank you all so much for your time.
Sure, man.
Really a pleasure. This was the highlight of my day, so I appreciate that. That's love.
Word, that's one love for real. Yo, it's in. What's out? Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace.